Hey everybody, we're going to do the Code of Hammurabi today, which is not really a biblical text, not really a holy text, but nonetheless it's got astrotheology in it. Now this one's not as long as the other ones are. Not that the other ones were long to begin with, but yeah, that's it. So let's go over the 12 signs. Aquarius. The sign is represented by the man with the water pitcher. So whenever you hear son of man, man, baptism, water pitcher, fountain, stream, river, lake, pond, creek, watery things, they're talking about Aquarius. Aquarius being an air sign, but there's water in the sign. When you decode astrotheologically, it applies for water, as does Pisces, the mutable sign. It's the two fish in the water because it's water. All the same applications for the examples I've just given you in Aquarius apply. Then Aries is the ram, and in Aries you have March 21st, which is the spring equinox. It's a 12-hour day, 12-hour night. In Christianity, the passing over is changed, and it's called the resurrection of God's Son. Okay, on Nisan 14 in the Jewish calendar, you have the first day of Passover. This always happens in Aries. Passover is when the angel of death passes over the houses that don't have the lamb or the ram's blood on their doorpost, because the Jews were the people of Aries. So it's three different meanings, but it all means the same thing. It all goes back to the same story. So whenever you hear ram, lamb, shepherd, ram's horn, Jews, for example, they're talking about Aries. Taurus is the bull. And when you see the sky and you see Taurus during the season where it's supposed to be, you know that you need to put the plow on the bull in order to plant the seeds so that you can harvest in Virgo and Libra. So whenever you hear bull, ox, calf, or cow being the female bull, you're talking about Taurus. Gemini is the twins. It's the story of Castor and Pollux Troy, whose sister was Helen of Troy. It's the story of Achilles. So whenever you hear twins or brothers, they're talking about Gemini. Cancer is the crab. It's a sideways moving creature. So the sun rises a degree on its axis starting December 25th. The 26th, it rises another degree, and it continues to rise a degree every single day. The days get longer, the nights get shorter. Then on June 21st, the summer solstice, it stops because it's at its height. Then it walks sideways for 3 days. It stays at that height. Then it drops a degree on June 25th. It continues to drop a degree every single day until it hits December 21st. Where it then stops for 3 days again. So it repeats this pattern. A degree a day going up, 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 stop, walk 3 days, down a degree, down, 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 stop, walk 3 days, up a degree, dot, dot, dot. That's the pattern that it forms. So whenever you hear crab or beetle, the crab in the ancient Egyptian time was known as the scarab. That's why St. Augustine called Jesus the good beetle. Whenever you hear crab or beetle, they're talking about Cancer. Leo is the king, is the lion. He's the king of the jungle. The ruling planet of Leo is actually the sun. So whenever you hear lion, lioness, or cub, you're talking about Leo. Virgo is the woman holding the wheat stalk. So remember before we said you planted Taurus, well, the virgins would cultivate the wheat in Virgo in order to make the bread for the year. So whenever you hear virgin, wheat, grain, seed, barley, corn, grainy things that you harvest season is Virgo. Then Libra is the justice. It's the scales, it's the balance, it's the just one. And the reason it's the justice is because it judges God's sun as it passes over the fall equinox and begins its descent into winter, into cold, into death. The Jews always celebrate their new year around the fall equinox. Libra is also wine season, which is when you plant the grapes in Taurus, you could press the wine here. So whenever you hear law, judge, justice, the divorce, just one, marriage, court, lawly things, lawyer, you're talking about Libra. Whenever you hear wine, vineyard, wine press, grapes, you're talking about Libra. It's also olive oil season. You press the olives in order to make the oil in Libra. So whenever you hear olives or oil, you're talking about Libra. Scorpio is the scorpion, and he is the betrayer. When a scorpion bites you, it leaves an imprint in your skin that looks like a pair of lips. It's why the mafia has the kiss of death. And it's why Jesus was betrayed by Judas with the kiss. So the sun is judged in Libra. It's betrayed in Scorpio. Finally, in Sagittarius, this is where the bow and the arrow shoot the sun and inflict further punishment on the sun. This is where the sun dies. Why? I mentioned briefly before. Because on December 21st, the sun is at its lowest point. It cannot rise any lower. It's dead. It's the dead of winter. It remains at the lowest level for 3 days, which is why Jesus was dead for 3 days, when on December 25th, or the birth of God's son, it rises another degree and starts to make its way back on top. So whenever you hear horse, bow and arrow, spear, horseman, you're talking about Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the death. Anytime you hear about a death, the death is December 21st. That's Sagittarius. Capricorn is the goat because he likes to climb the mountain. So the zodiac wheel starts with Capricorn at the bottom. And that's where it starts to climb up the mountain on the way to its height in Cancer. The sun does. And it starts to climb in Capricorn. And that's why it's the goat, because the mountain goats climb up the mountain. So that's basically the 12 signs. All right, everybody. So let's continue. Number 2, if a man has put a spell upon a man and has not justified himself, he upon whom the spell is laid shall go to the holy river. He shall plunge into the holy river, and if the holy river overcome him, he who wove the spell upon him shall take himself his house. The man sign is Aquarius, and the holy river either refers to Aquarius or Pisces, the 2 water-bearing signs. So they're either talking about the same sign here, Aquarius, or they're talking about the connecting signs, Aquarius and Pisces. So there's the pattern that we see. Number 3, if a man in a case pending judgment has uttered threats against the witness or has not justified the word that he has spoken, if that case be a capital suit, that man shall be put to death. The sign of the man is Aquarius, and the judgment is Libra, the scales of justice. Also, again, hold on. No, my apologies. Number 4, if he has offered corn or money to the witness, he shall himself bear the sentence of the case. The man sign is Aquarius, and corn is cultivated in September or Virgo with the other wheat and grains. If a man has stolen ox or sheep or ass or pig or ship, whether from the temple or the palace, he shall pay 30-fold. The man sign is Aquarius, the ox is Taurus, the sheep is Aries. The ass is the donkey, is a Celis Borealis, or the donkey, which is located in Cancer, and the pig is a constellation called Porcus. If a man has brought the cattle or sheep which the king has given to the ganger from the hand of the ganger, he shall be deprived of his money. Well, the man sign is Aquarius, the cattle is Taurus, and the sheep is Aries. Now, Taurus and Aries are connecting signs. So again, there's the pattern that we see. If a man has opened his runnel to water and has neglected it, and the field of his neighbor, the waters have carried away, he shall pay corn like his neighbor. The man sign is Aquarius. The running water is Pisces. The corn is Virgo. Pisces and Virgo are opposing signs. Aquarius and Pisces are connecting signs. There's the pattern that we've seen a couple times here, that we've seen constantly throughout all these decodings. 56. If a man has opened the waters and the plants of the field of his neighbor, the waters have carried away, he shall pay 10 gur of corn per gan. The man sign is Aquarius, the waters are Pisces, because the plants of the field are vegetation, which begins in Aries after the 2 water signs. See, there's no plants, there's no land, there's no nothing until we pass through Aquarius and Pisces and get to Aries, which is the ram, which sits on land. So that's the beginning of the land. He will pay corn, which is Virgo. Pisces and Virgo are opposing signs, and Aquarius and Pisces are connecting signs. If a shepherd has caused the sheep to feed on the green corn, the shepherd and the sheep are Aries. The corn is Virgo. Now, if you go to the firmament between Aries and Pisces, okay, it'll connect to the firmament of Virgo and Libra, making a connecting sign. So that's a way that you can kind of bend the zodiac in order to find the patterns. If the merchant has given to the agent corn, wool, oil, or any sort of goods to traffic with, the agent shall write down the price and hand over to the merchant. Well, corn is Virgo. The wool comes from the sheep, which is Aries, and the oil comes from Libra. Virgo and Libra are opposing signs. Are connecting signs. Aries and Libra are opposing signs. So the constant patterns here. 108. If a wine merchant has not received corn as the price of drink, has received silver by the great stone, and has made the price of drink less than the price of corn, the wine merchant, one shall put her account and throw her into the water. The wine is Libra, the corn is Virgo, connecting signs. The water is Pisces, that's Virgo's opposing sign. If a votary, a lady who is not living in the convent, has opened a wine shop or has entered a wine shop for a drink, that woman, one shall burn her. If a wine merchant has given 60 ka of best beer at harvest time for thirst, she shall take 50 ka of corn. The lady is the woman's sign in Virgo. The wine is Libra. Those are connecting signs. A wine merchant is Libra. Beer is Virgo, barley, connecting signs. Corn is Virgo, still connecting signs. 121. If a man has heaped up corn in the house of a man, he shall give as the price of storage 5 ka of corn per gur of corn per annum. The man is Aquarius, the sign of the man. The house of the man is Aquarius. Each zodiac sign is called a house, a mansion, an eon, a sign. Each zodiac sign is called a house. The corn is Virgo. If a man has caused the finger to be pointed against a votary or a man's wife and has not justified himself, the man they shall throw down before the judge and brand his forehead. The man is Aquarius. His wife is the woman's sign of Virgo. The justified and judge comes from Libra, the scales of the justice. Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. If a wife of a man on account of another male has had the finger pointed at her and has not been caught in lying with another male for her husband, she shall plunge into the holy river. The wife is Virgo, the female, the man is Aquarius. The holy river is in Pisces, where the fish are. The river has fish. Okay, Virgo is the opposing sign of Pisces. Aquarius is the connecting sign of Pisces. Once again, we see the patterns. 178. If a lady votary or a vowed woman whose father has granted her a marriage portion has written her a deed, in the deed he has written her has not, however, written her after her wherever is good to her to give, has not permitted her and all her choice, after the father has gone to his fate, her brother shall take the field, her garden, and according to the value of her share shall give her corn, oil, and wool, and shall contend to her heart. Corn, oil, and wool. Why? Because the lady is Virgo, the woman. The father is the man sign Aquarius. So Aquarius can talk about a boy, or it could talk about a middle-aged man, or it could talk about an old man who dies. Same thing for Virgo. It could talk about a woman, a girl, or a old elderly woman. Her brother are the brothers in Gemini. The corn is Virgo, and the oil is Libra, and the wool is Aries. So Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. Libra and the wool, which comes from sheep, are in Aries. Those are opposing signs. If a man has struck the strength of a man who is great above him, he shall be struck in the assembly with 60 strokes of a cowhide whip. The man is Aquarius, as noted many times before, and the cowhide whip is Taurus, the cow, the female bull. There are 2 of the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. If a cow doctor or a sheep doctor has treated a cow or a sheep for a severe wound and cured it, the owner of the cow or sheep shall give 1/6 of a shekel of silver to the doctor as his fee. If he has treated a cow or a sheep for a severe wound and caused it to die, he shall give 1/4 of its price to the owner of the ox or sheep. The doctor is Aquarius, the sign of the man. The cow is Taurus, the sheep are Aries. Those are connecting signs, Aries and Taurus. 242. If a man has hired a working ox for 1 year, he shall pay 4 gur of corn at its hire. The man is Aquarius and the ox is Taurus. The corn is Virgo. If a man has hired an ox or sheep and a lion has killed it in the open field, the loss is for the owner forsooth. The man is Aquarius, the ox is Taurus, the sheep is Aries. Taurus and Aries are connecting signs, and the lion is Leo. Leo and Aquarius are opposing signs. So there's the patterns again, guys. You got to find the patterns. 250. If a wild bull in his charge has gored a man and caused him to die, this case has no remedy. The bull is Taurus and the man is Aquarius. If a man has hired a man to reside in his field and has furnished him seed, has entrusted him the oxen and harnessed them for cultivating the field. If that man has stolen the corn or plants, they have been seized in his hands, one shall cut off his hands. The man is Aquarius, the ox is Taurus. As mentioned, he plows, has entrusted him the oxen and harnessed them for cultivating the field. The corn is Virgo. 259, 260. If a man has stolen a watering machine from the meadow, he shall give 5 shekels of silver to the owner of the watering machine. 260. If he has stolen a watering bucket or a harrow, he shall pay 3 shekels of silver. The man is Aquarius, and the watering machine or bucket is the man with the water bucket in Aquarius. This is just literally alluding to Aquarius. 268, 269, 270. If a man has hired an ox for threshing, 20 ka of corn is its hire. If he has hired an ass for threshing, 10 ka of corn is its hire. If he has hired a goat for threshing, 1 ka of corn is its hire. The man is Aquarius. So the ox is Taurus. The corn is Virgo. The donkey is Acellus Borealis, the donkey, which is located in Cancer. The goat is Capricorn, the goat. Now, the donkey's in Cancer. Cancer and Capricorn are opposing signs. And that's the Code of Hammurabi, guys. You see how these patterns just keep coming up. It's the same thing over and over again. So the next book that we're going to do is the Quran. And then I'll save that for last. The next one is the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And then we'll do the Quran last. So thank you guys for listening, and I'll be back soon.